Guys, basically what I wanted to address was the whole state of the world right now. Obviously, I'm just some dude in a car talking about politics, right? And by no means am I making myself a specialist, right? But the whole issue is Trump and Elon Musk, by extension, think that America is the only sovereign country in the world. Let's get that out of the way. Americans seem to have this mentality that everything is theirs, everything around the world has to involve them. If there's a war, they have to get involved. If there's any sort of crisis, they have to be involved. If there's any foreign matter, they have to be involved. The issue with that is you start to get this sort of superiority complex as a nation, that this is how everything is supposed to be. For example, Elon Musk going around saying that South Africa is manufacturing an apartheid 2.0 simply because we're not letting him start his company or branch out into South Africa without a black person being involved in the board is one of the problems. Sure, he's South African. Okay, he was born here. That's cool, right? But he's an American citizen. He's been an American citizen for a while. And I don't think anything South African related should include his opinion, simply because he's not really in touch with the climate here. He can't be going around saying that, we're out here, killing everyone who isn't black. We're out here causing any sort of ruckus when he doesn't live in the area. He doesn't live in the country. He doesn't have any sort of idea about what day-to-day South Africa is. As much as I'm not trying to be spreading South African propaganda, it is a case of, if you're going to speak about something, at least know what you're talking about. At least have your foot in the door so that you can actually make a based opinion. If you're going to go out and complain about, discrimination and everything like that, you have to understand the reason why your company isn't allowed to be in South Africa without any sort of black board members is simply because of the BEE law. Okay, cool. You can complain about that. Sure, you're entitled to your own opinion. But you need to understand that the whole BEE and the BBEE mandate was made to address the issues that were brought about from apartheid. Apartheid, a lot of black people, why am I saying a lot? All black people were affected by it, right? And that sort of wound can't just be redressed overnight. Sure, we have equality and everything like that, right? But the economic and business structure wasn't really given to black people in an advantageous way. Everyone just sort of was like, okay, cool, you blacks are equal now, go wild. The issue with that is not a lot of people are aware of how to run companies, and they're not aware of how to really fix the matters in a way that's beneficial for black people. Now, that being said, if you're going to have an issue with that, you're really missing the point of why these laws were implemented in the first place. If you're going to go to a black country that has predominantly gone through a very, very harsh period of oppression, again, I'm not trying to play the victim here. Fortunately, I've never had to grow up in an environment where I have to struggle, where I have to, sort of guess what I'm going to eat tonight, go home hungry, go to bed without water or anything like that. And yes, I'm also not going to deny that I come from a privileged background. So as much as I'm not really entitled to give a big opinion on the injustices, I do have eyes, I do have ears, I do have a brain. That being said, people need to understand that America doesn't have to be out here running everything. They don't have to be out here giving their opinions on everything, especially because they don't have the foot in the door. They don't have any sort of reference as to how life in South Africa is. They can't be then imposing themselves and then being angry that no, this is the requirements for every business. This is what we require for every organizational structure within that business. If you're going to complain, then just don't come. Just don't start your business here. Just don't start any sort of enterprise here. We'll be fine. South Africans in and of themselves are way stronger than we think. You guys are way stronger than you think. I'm not out here to push South African propaganda. I'm not out here saying South Africa is better than any other nation. But what I am saying is we do have the ability and skills to do our own stuff. You don't have to think that because we're from a third world country that we're stupid. We're rapidly developing, and dare I say, we're doing it very quickly. We're doing it very well. As much as there's corruption, every country has corruption. There is no state that is absolutely perfect. And I think it's time that people stop acting like because there is corruption in South Africa, that this is just a corruption plagued country. We do have good. If you go and ask any white person if they hate South Africa, chances are they're going to say no, because everyone just lives their lives here. You know, no one's out here casually being racist on a day-to-day basis. It's just a thing of the external view of something is always going to be different from living in that something. And I think America fails to understand that. The reason why I'm sitting so hard on America is because they've started getting this idea that they are the ultimate country. They don't even travel. That's the first thing there. The only country they know is theirs. Given, okay, it's huge or whatever, but they've never exposed themselves to other cultures. They've never exposed themselves to other countries and see how they run things and all that, right? They believe that they're the only thing that is better than sliced bread. In my opinion, South Africa really needs to just double down and focus on our own independence. We are independent, right? But we're still being swayed and scared by, all these threats that are going around, especially in the Iranian conflict that's going on. But we just need to understand that we as South Africans, we're powerful. We don't really need them. Sure, we do need them for, like the imported goods and everything like that. But it's not anything that we can't produce ourselves if we just didn't sleep on our own potential. It's just time that South Africa realizes that, hey, we are strong enough, powerful enough, smart enough to do our own things. We have our flaws, of course, which nation doesn't? But at the end of the day, we're still good. We're still able to govern ourselves. We're still able to, develop our own things. We're not children. It's just a case that if we were to focus, double down, and actually develop our own things, import and export goods, secondary goods, that is, we'd be fine. We'd honestly be fine.